Alright, so last time we were working on the ability to set skins for a look. So the ability to add skins to specific looks, and weapon skins and whatnot. So the other day, yesterday, and the day before, if I remember correctly, we implemented the ability to search. So you can now like go to a skin and just type in like I don't know, something with the H or something. Heritage, sure, heritage leg guards, and it will show you like the word that you've typed in and where it is in the word, so that if it's a bit further down, like it tries to like match where it is. We also have added already the die indicator, so that we can add that later on too, but also the fact that like you can click something, you can delete it, and it will like show a little bit of the preview, and also the list already contains a bit of preview, so people will most likely be able to see it very easily. So we're gonna wrap up that pull request because I realized that we don't have tests for it. So I think today we're gonna be focusing on writing the test for it so we can get this through. And I'm not entirely sure about the API, but I'm not gonna like touch it. I think it would be better API to just well, let me explain to you what the API currently looks like. So the combo box that we have has two things. Normally when you have a combo box, it's very easy to just say, hey, here's the data, here's a bunch of options, and then here's the data, right? So like when we look at the ones for the armor pieces, I have this skin input, and if you go to the declaration for it, it just renders the image if it exists, and it renders the die channels that have not like been set up yet, and then it renders the combo box, which is this box basically, so the search box, and then we just have a label hidden so that, you know, the label doesn't show up because we have the label already here, but it's there for ARIA reasons. And then we can basically pass two things. So either you've declared the data beforehand and then you just reference it, or you have options directly for the skins that you want to pass. So for armor pieces, the list of armor pieces for helmet is a lot smaller than the total overall skins that are for armor pieces. And I can show you that if I actually do a query here. So let's say I do the skins query here, and I just get all of them. Is about 3,000 armor pieces in the database. But if we just do the leggings for it, obviously narrowing it down to only the leggings, we'll only read 400 rows, right? So 400 rows is significantly less. And so what we do for the options that we know beforehand, that are only going to be ones, because you're only going to be selecting the helmet piece once, right? There's not going to be multiple input fields, multiple search fields that use the same data. So for helmet, that's very easy. So what we do is we just add the data inside of the select, but not as options, so that the library only has to render what it sees, but just as a simple JSON dump of the data. So let me make it a bit bigger so people can see it. So basically just a big JSON blob with the value, the text, and the link to the icons, and then we only render about 20 things here. Because I was rendering like about... for weapons, it's even worse. For weapons, I was about like, I think there's about like 6,000 weapon skins. So yeah, that's pretty bad. And so, oh, what the fuck? So for the ones that I know are not too big, I just put them as like a data property on the select. I could also check if I can just add them as options directly. But I noticed that the rendering phase took like quite a toll, but maybe that's not because of the options field. Maybe this would be even heavier. So we'll see over time how that goes. It shouldn't be too difficult to fix that. But the case that we're covering for here is the weapons case, because for weapons, I allow the user to add like a multiple weapons basically, and so which means that we can narrow it down to a subtype. So we have to render the select box for all of the weapon skins there are, and as you saw in the database, there's about 6,000 of them. And so what happened was LiveView was rendering the select dropdown with the options of 6,000 options every single select box. So if we were to render 3, 4, or 5 select boxes like we have shown here, it would render 5 times 6,000 option fields within those selects. And every single time LiveView had to re-render, it had to sort of like, I think it does like some diffing, and then it only sends the part that changed to the browser, but it became slower and slower and slower over time, and so obviously that doesn't help. So the use case that I went for here was for the combo box to either define the options directly or to reference the data key somewhere else so that we can only render it once. So that is what we're doing in the form. For the weapons key, we're basically defining a combo box data field with the key, and then we just tell the fields that need to use that data to define the weapons key, so that we define the data once, it doesn't change. That's just a flat list of 6,000 weapons, and then every select box can then use the library to pull the data from it and build up the UI for it. So this resulted in a lot faster rendering, and also like I can still do exactly what I need to do. So I can still search for something from that entire 6,000 list, but I don't have to re-render the whole select dropdown and diff out the stuff. Sup, Jonas? Welcome in. So that is basically what we have. But then when I realized, when I created the PR and I saw that the tests were passing, I was like surprised. Because I'm mostly writing behavioral tests, so I was like, holy shit, I've done a great job. I have changed the UI, and the tests are still passing. That's amazing. And then I realized I didn't have tests for this. So that's what we're going to do now. There's no tests for this. For the page, there is tests, and for attachments, there are tests, but there's no tests for the skins. So I think that's the part that we're going to be working on now. So let's take a little look at the tests. So let's see. So we have can save with attachments, updates a look in the listing, update cover photo, deletes the look. That's all nice. I think we should do like another test here, which can save with skins. So I think we just do, let me think. We could pick a skin. We could pick a skin. We could do all of them, but I'm not even sure. I'm not really sure if that's useful. And while we're at it, let's also change the fields, because like these are still lowercase. So we have helm, shoulders, coat, gloves, leggings, boots, and back. Do we call this back piece? I think we do. And then weapon. I think weapon 1, 2, 3, 4 can help. We also still need a way to add extra fields if we need them, but yeah. Let me see. Don't know yet. Guess I need to wait for another crash. Besides that, I haven't done much. Doctor on Friday morning. Mostly headaches yesterday. Today I've been doing some work. Would you do any Halloween parties? No, I decided to skip on them. Didn't really feel like it. Just wanted to chill. November is gonna be crazy anyways. Crazy. Okay. Let's just write a test what we want, right? Can save with armor skins. Let's just do that one. So we need the con, we need a look, and then do I care? Do I care about a new look? Yes, I think I actually care about both. So let's just make a new one. New look, fill in this information. We don't care about the click to update the cover page. What we care about is this is going to be a bit interesting because we're rendering an input field and then we're rendering a select and then the library takes over to render the input field. And so LiveView at the time doesn't know about the JS. So this is going to be kind of interesting. So I don't think I can LiveView test this. I just realized that. I would need something like a playwright test for this. Because the JavaScript takes over, and then the JavaScript does its magic. Theoretically, I can write a test. Like a front-end test for this. But let me see. Let me just try and see if this works, right? So I have an aria, or I have a label for this, for the select here. And this would work if I used regular options, probably. But, yeah. So here's the label. So we're looking for helm and then option, and then we just select a specific option. So we need skins. And I think we can just... Let's get a random skin. Get skin. And then what do we want? We need a specific type. Let me see what I had. I have list skins, filter where... Do I even use this? Wait, am I only using this in the test? Oh no, it's just searching for GW2Style, wait. Wait a minute, I have this module and it's not even being used. Oh, this is still using the filter. Oh, the search. Oh, I thought I deleted this module. Whoops. Oh well. I think it's in here now. So looks, list skins grouped. Skin, where skin.type is armor, subtype is this. I think this can work. Why is this wrong? Syntax error before. Oh, I think this is... Man, the language server is just sometimes so annoying. Okay, we have this. Do I want to just do the query in the test? Maybe the fixture? Maybe in the fixtures? Like, it's more like a test helper sort of thing anyways. Support, fixtures, skin. It's not like I'm not really creating a fixture, but maybe I can just use this. I'm not sure if this is the right way to do it, but this fixtures for me is more like creating or building like something, but say generate a look. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum. Skin, and then I think let's just get the whole query in there. I mean, this is not ideal because I think my test shouldn't really be knowing about this, but let's just... Oops. Do we have a way to random? Order by fragment random, okay. We do the same here with the subtype. Okay. A random skin armor helm .id. Let's just see if this works. Expected at most one result, but got 903 in query. Oh, so okay. Interesting. So Revo 1 doesn't actually do that. I guess I have to pass the order myself. For a single result, raises if more than one entry. Okay. Raises if more than one entry. Okay. No case clause matching. PhoenixTest select. So this is what I was thinking, right? Because the select dropdown doesn't have any options in it. So it doesn't know that these are the options. So I don't think I can really test this. Unless I set the value like manually, but then what am I really testing here? I mean, I guess I can still test that the underlying thing has been created. Let's just see. We can actually do that. PhoenixTest. So we need the escape hatch. We need unwrap. So let's try this, huh? So we unwrap and then we get the whole live view. And then we need to do stuff with this. Let me see, do I still have old tests? Because I remember we used to do this. But I think we refactored the majority of our tests. Let me see, I can probably just find like an old commit. Okay, cool, I did not ask. Looks test. Let's blame this. Let's go here. Next 8.1. Form, look. So if I do, wait, if I do that, let's see if that works. So if I do form, look form. I don't think it's look form anymore though. I think it's now look schema form. Oh, it's still called look form, okay. Look form. Render change. Sends the form change given by the element and returns the re-rendered results. Rendered result. Ooh, if that works, that would actually be kind of nice. Element must be a single point and change element to it. So if I go... Let's see, right? So if I select, it's not ideal, but if I do elements, and then let's see, what is this? Probably Helm ID, right? This one. Form schema Helm ID. A name. This makes more sense. Let me think. Yeah, and within doesn't really work either for me. Okay, let's just try it out, right? We just want some coverage. Like, we can definitely make this better in the future. Let's just see if this works first. So we select the element, and then we say... render change. I don't think this is gonna work, but let's just see, right? So render change. Because here they select the whole form. Send it to the C# and feel the PTSD building up. Then I open your stream to see all this. Let's just maybe do this. Render change. What does render change really do? Is it just like... Render change. Sends the form change event given by the element and returns... Render change. I only say like the form. Flashbang. Sorry. Theoretically, actually, I don't want one random skin. I can just get all the random skins from the database, but yeah. Yeah, they only do it by form, which could actually be nice for us. Because what we can do is actually just select the form. Look form, and then we just say Helm ID is this skin. And then we can basically assert that... Oh no, we can't really assert that. We can assert that the icon is there on the page. Assert has image source being... Oh, we need the random helmet skin. Okay, let's see if this works. Cannot find any skins matching this. Okay, let's log what is actually happening. So we're at the helm skin. Skin, no. Interesting. Oh, wait, I know what I'm doing wrong. I think this is form schema. Yeah, there you go. But now the image is there. That's actually really nice. What's up, Lubbock? How's it going? So we can assert some stuff. Just the JavaScript part is a bit... But we can assert that the image is there because that is still in LiveView territory. And we can also later on assert the die slots. Big, that's actually huge. Okay, so now let's change the random skins and let's do random skins types. Let's just do a random skin for every type, right? How would I do that? Limits. 1. So I need... What is the query for this? I need... For every type... Do I need a subquery? I'm so not provisioned enough to do this, because like who the fuck does a query like this? But let's just see what we get, right? If we order by random, I thought it was order by. Am I crazy? What is going on? What the fuck? Am I going crazy? Order by rand. Is it because it's a group buy? What the fuck did I do differently? I'm so confused, but I'm not even gonna dig into it. I don't know what the fuck I typoed, but yeah. Fine. Okay, so now we get a random type. Wait, this actually kind of works, no? We just need also armor subtypes. But we only need that for armor. And we don't need the gathering tools. Fucking gathering tools, man. Okay, we can just simply... We can do something like very silly. But if I want my gathering tools to match me, yeah, that is wild. Can I not do that? How does this work again? Let me chat GPT this shit. So much easier. Okay. In Ecto, I want to get one random record grouped by type subtype. But for certain types, I don't want to group by subtype. How do I do this? Let's see what we get. Okay, that is too much. I think I'll just do this in Elixir. It's not worth. All right, let's just do it the other way. Actually, never mind. I just want to group by type subtype. I don't care about the filtering. What the fuck? Wait, this is so much... What the fuck is this, bro? What is this AI cooking? Brother, what are we cooking? What's up, Brainless Society? Welcome in. Good to see you back. Row number, what's happening? Assign a random order to each row within each subtype group. Keeps only the first random one per group. Wait, is it, am I overlooking something? One random record per one subtype. Can use cleanly with a window function. Subquery. What's up, Kitty? Welcome in. How are you? Alright, I just need to see how the fuck I group by, man. Show me how to group by. I'll cook this myself. This is way too complicated. This is what I need. Group by P character. That's what I did, right? I just need to do this query. Wait. I can just do this. Translate the following query to Ecto. What? Bro, just... No random per group. Want one row per combination, not necessarily random. Import Ecto query. Alias, GW2Style looks, scan. Oh, we need to pipe this into a repo. Oh. Query. Same other is not supported. Distinct with multiple columns is not supported. What the fuck, brother? Working for another hour? Good luck. Where type not in gathering. And yeah, sure. This is what I want, guys. It's not fucking rocket science. Why are we struggling? I think I need to... I want to group by two fields, and then I think I need to define what my select is gonna be. It's like, what am I getting back? I think that's the issue. I want... What I want back is... Actually, I just want S back. Right? Wait, why? Invalid call order. Tap, doom, 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 tap. Doom, doom, tap, doom, 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 tap. Doom, tap, doom, 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 tap. SQLite does not support distinct. Why is bro still cooking on this massive query, man? Relax. Brother, this is... I'm closing it. This is, like, unreal. It doesn't need to be hard. Repo.all. Skin group by s, comma, s dot type. Let's just start with that. Sometimes, man, sometimes I'm just fighting the AI. And then I don't want to count. I've done a group by before. Wait, what am I? Why is the test taking longer than me just writing the code? Group by. Oh, we're not actually grouping by on the database. We're grouping by Elixir, which is also fine. Not actually sure why we're doing that, but let the database do more or less work, I guess. Boom bum 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 boom bum boom bum boom bum bum boom bum bum bum. Group by this. They're doing like a list. S.type, S.subtype. There we go. We just need to select more. Okay. We're like, this is what I need, no? Oh, I think I get what we get. So if I do this, then here I will get type, subtype, or what? Tuples can only be used in comparisons with literal tuples of the same size. Okay, let's try this. I don't know what the fuck that means. Boom, boom, bam, boom, 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 bam. Armor, armor coat, armor gloves, armor helm, and some more. Okay, now I want... I think this select is not needed, maybe? Okay. Because we're not selecting anything specific. Now we want order by fragment random. I missed something. Okay, I'm not entirely sure what I'm ordering to random, but boom 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 bam boom boom bam boom boom bam boom boom bam boom bam. And we also want where s.type not in. Not in. Recursive. What the fuck is he talking about? Not in. Ecto query not in. Not device ID in. Well, there you go. Not s-type in. I mean, I can also just say s-type not equals gathering. Bum 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 bum. If I do limits, I think I will only get one record. Oh. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's not what I want. But I think this combination here should yield 27 rows, right? So if we... Fuck. "27 rows. So we replicated the query now. For some reason, AI was struggling because it was still holding on to this thought that we needed to use distinct queries for some reason. Anyhow, sometimes you just fight the beast that is AI, okay? Sometimes we do that. So let's just... whatever we cooked here, let's just put it in. Okay, we have... We're not doing the gathering. We group by this, so we're cooking that correctly, and we're cooking that correctly. And then limit one we don't, and then we enum filter. Can I think I want to group by type. It's undefined. But I've set a limit with a default, right? Right. GW2Style skins fixtures is not... Oh, it's because it's in this test? I see you like DBG usage? Yeah, dude, I love it. It's big. Can I do this? No, I don't think it knows about it. Because it's in the test code. Now we're learning some... Now we're learning some real stuff. Mix and test, is that really all it takes? Oh, it does, yeah. Thanks. I was about to say, like, I'm pretty sure I need to define that I want to compile it using env. But now I'm starting to really go down the rabbit hole, and now I'm really wondering how it does that. But yeah, we'll get there. Let's just not drift off away too far. We obviously need to repo it up. Okay. We are not grouping because we don't have the select, right? No, that doesn't work, right? I should get... Can I not get a list per type? me check. Let me just try it. You know, like, what? It's never hurt anybody. S type S. I think what I'm just gonna get is for every row, I'm just gonna get a list with S and type. Yeah, that's not what I want. It's okay, guys. We don't have to care about it. It's a test. It's a test. Enum dot group by but why am I grouping then? Also, why am I only get... Oh, yeah, no, this makes sense, because this guarantees that I only get one record, but it's not random, though. I think I will guarantee to get the same record every time. Or is it because of this? This could be that it's random. Okay, let's just see. Skin. Let's do... type. Yes. Dum bam, boom bam bam, ba doom bam. Okay, we have actually a couple rules here. We're going absolutely wild now. Only for the armor case. So when skin type armor, do we want to... What am I doing in this thing? Yeah, we're doing it by type and then map new into the group. This is kind of what we need to do. To be honest here. And then... What we actually need to do is... I think we just need to filter. And then we can group. Oh my god, this feels shit. Because... when the skin is... What I want is, let me think out loud here. I'm getting a list of skins and I only care about armor subtypes. So for the armor skin, it's always true. But in the case of everything else, okay, I'm gonna go very nasty here. I'm gonna go very nasty here and I'm gonna do... Wait, can I enum map? Can I enum map over... Can I enum map over a map? Or do I get a list back? Seems like I get a list back. You know, who the fuck... You know what? Who the fuck cares, okay? Who the fuck cares? Yeah, you can enum into an empty map, right? Yeah. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do that. Can I filter? Okay, now we're going really wild, okay? Now we're going really wild. So, okay, we're cooking here. This is like way too overkill, and I don't know if this code is ever gonna make it because this is test code, and it's like a bit overkill, I think. Okay, you know what? I'm just keeping it as is. I think this is fine. I think this is absolutely beautiful. I think this is absolutely beautiful. Now we just have a skin per subtype, and I think that's perfectly viable. And then we just take the first weapon. Who the fuck cares? Okay. Who the fuck cares? Random skins. Skins. Yeah, there you go. Skins. And then what we do is if I want the helm, then I can do skins, get in, skins, armor, helm, and then I think I will get a list with one record. I think. So I don't like that very much, because I always know that it's one record. List. Yeah, it's a list with one skin. Enum first is... Oh. List at first, probably. I don't like that. Let's fix that. So here we go. And this is gonna be absolutely beautiful. Can I fix this here already? The value is a list, right? What am I doing, bro? Okay, for the armor one, it's a bit annoying. Because now I get another list. Another list. And then I feel like I have to do the little shebang fucking enum map shit. I kind of like what it just recommended. Not whatever this is. It just recommended something else. I think it was doing a map new. Which is kind of like what we're doing down there. And I think this will yield me the exact result. I think that was actually kind of clever. Kind of like that. Kind of like that. Kind of like that. What I can also do is remove the type for armor. I think I might actually do that. I think that might be better. So we remove the type for armor here. So when the type is armor, then we get a value. And then we want the value. What we actually want is this. Is that possible? I don't think that's possible. We map new for every key. For every key, we get a list of skins. And then what we return is the key and the value. And so we always know. I think this works, no? K is unused. Why are you complaining? Missing end. Are you really though? Let's find out. Sometimes it's just kind of yapping. It was actually. Let me see. We group by the skin subtypes, and then the key that we get is helm. And then the value is the skin. And then we say we return a new map. Oh yeah, no, this is not gonna work. I just find it easier to reason about reduce. Reducing. What do we get back? Group by, key, value, value. Map new is... map dot put we don't actually need to group by anymore. We need to enum dot reduce. This is a list of skins. List of skins needs to become list of skins per subtype need to map that in to the reduce. Did we get the accumulator after or before? I can't remember. We reduce over V, then we want another this. We want this to be ACK. And then we get a skin and This feels awful. This feels awful, but let me cook, okay? Let me cook. Map, puts, sack, skin, subtype, skin. I think that's it. And then for the case where it's anything else, we do map put ac k list first. Did I cook? The code is like terrifying. I'm doing a little bit of recursion-ish, but we're not recursing. But we could recurse. But we're not recursing. I hate that it doesn't work. Someone said come. Come. Dun. Does it still make sense to group by? If we're already reducing? If we're already reducing? We're going over every skin, and then we're putting the skin in the subtype when it's type armor. Fuck me sideways, man. Why? What the fuck am I doing? Skin. This is what you get when you reduce, man. When we reducing, we don't have to do this anymore. We don't have to do the double reducing. When it's a skin type of armor, we just map.put the results, and now we don't have nested fucking accumulator anymore, so I can just call this a ac. Put into the ac the subtype and then the skin. Oh my god. Crazy. And then if not, then it's just skin. And then we can just do... Well, let's just still do this. Just because it's pretty. And then we just do this. And then skin. Does that work? In that case, it's gonna overwrite, and it's gonna take the last type. Does that matter? Like for the weapons? For the weapons, it's gonna be a random weapon that's gonna win. Oh, well, we'll see. We're not ordering, so I think it's gonna be random. But that is okay. I think this will still pass. Boom. Okay, now we can do a little bit of this magic. Why am I using get in? I can just do skins helm. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's remove the debug. Where is the debug even? DBG. I'm loving me some debug. Oh yeah, you can also do .helm.id. What the fuck? You are so right. You are so right. That is why we were doing this. I don't know. That is why we were doing this. Excellent. Beautiful. Okay, now we need to do this exact thing for everything else. So let's set all of them at once. Boom, 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 bum, boom, boom, bum, 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 bum. Why am I formatting my code manually? Don't ask. I don't want the answer. Alright. I think we send it like this. Wow, just cooked. Do I still have tests? I think it's with attachments. Yes. I think we're creating look skins here. Let me double check. Skin ID. Okay. This is why I hate testing implementation details, but since we're using a front-end select box, it's a bit annoying to test otherwise. So we cannot really do it the correct way. Now we want to assert for all of these thingies. Let's just test if the weapon icon is there. Just in case. Okay, now let's break the test. How about that? How about we break the test? We can break the test by not sending it. Could not find it. Tests. Oh. Nice. Very good. What is that called again? I wonder if this will be a good candidate for parameterized tests. I've never used it. I have never used it. Oops. Okay, I'm a happy man. I'm a happy camper. I'm a happy camper. Maybe I should... Maybe I should abstract this. More or less readable at the end, yeah. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. And the skin's fat. Yeah, this is not great, but... fetches the random skins and groups them by type. Armor skins are grouped by subtype. You can, for example, you can for a for comprehension through the armor types and write tests inside, making the test name dynamic for the type and changing the input for each run. Oh, like that. Like loop through the armor types and then pass them as here. But the problem is like, I don't know how expensive these LiveView tests are. Like, to me, it sounds expensive, but maybe it's not. Because this feels closely related to, like, as if I'm, like, actually opening the browser, which I'm not. It's just HTML, but it's also parsing the HTML. So, yeah, I don't know. I am okay with how it is now because I think this part needs to be end-to-end tested. But what I need now is just some confidence that the thing is working, because I know later on how brittle this has been. So I'm just gonna go with a super explicit, very verbose, just so that I know that the test is there. And I need to do this exact same test for the showcase, but for the showcase I can actually go a little bit deeper. With no noticeable time impact? Oh, interesting. Yeah, let's look at it for another day. I'm very interested in that though. Because that like the problem with what we have now, right, is that when a test fails, it is going to be giga annoying to figure out how it failed. Because these assert has this way with the selector, it's going to be impossible to find out like what image that was and then which one it is. So I'm fully relying on line numbers to tell me which assertion has failed in order to figure out was it the helm or the icon or whichever one. So I'm totally down for that, just not now. Because, like, it's the least of my worries. I know that the test is working. Because if I break it, it's broken. But very good points. Let's mix format this shit. Don't trust my editor sometimes. Okay. Okay. Now all we have to do is do the same thing for the show test. Because here we're going to the show page afterwards, which is nice, because then we can actually test whether the look is showing up with the right names and stuff, which is even more useful. But it's kind of almost the same code. And I'm okay with that. Because all I care about is confidence in the code. And then if I need to change or refactor the test later, that's fine. You know, all I need to make sure is that I have confidence in the test, that the test is testing what I needed to test. The problem is, though, is it's a bit unfortunate that we're sort of testing implementation details in this case, but we can't really do it another way because the select options are not there. And maybe for the armor pieces we can fix that, but for the weapon skins we cannot, because of how we need to load the data once. Okay, let's just sort of combine a couple tests here, right? So we go to the look. And what we're testing is, let me see how your searches are done. Updates the look with the associated skins. I need a skin. I need a look with a skin. I think. No, I can add the skin after. It's fine. It's okay. Assert the path is going to the show page. I don't really care in this situation. So we're already testing that before. We set all this. We don't really care about that, because all we're doing in this test is doing this again. Bada bing, bada boom. On the edit page, we set all this data. And then we assert that the thumbnails are there, sure. That's okay. And then we don't go to the index page, we get to the show page. And then we test unordered list Lee. What? Show page? Unordered list? What are we showing on that page? Show. Assert unordered list. Oh, here. I think this is still from the old test. Yeah, okay, that's fine. We haven't really touched this page, but we can see all the armor skins and whatever, so that's okay. So I would say within the section of the armor skins... Oh, I don't think we have a section for it. That's fine. We can just search for the thing on the page, I think. Doesn't really matter. We can just check if it exists. Like, all we really care about is that the image is there. Assert has skin. Page skin. Do. What is the page? PhoenixTest. What is the type? Session. Sure, then we use that too. We use that too. Session. Well, what is the session? Where are the types? Isn't there supposed to be types here? What? Where is the type? Session. Am I crazy? Fine, I'm just not gonna type it. Who the fuck cares? Session skin. Skin is this. And then what we want to do is we want to test for both the image, which we've already done in the past. And maybe we can extract that as well. Assert has skin image icon. Session skin. Session. Beautiful. And then we do here, we do session assert has assert text. What assertions do we have? What assertions does this downgarn PhoenixTest have? Phoenix contact. Sponsor. Oh, I do have to check the actual thing. That's a bit unfortunate. Assert has, and I need to see what am I testing for. Unordered list. Yeah, let's check that. I don't know if it needs to be, if it can be inside of it or not, but yeah. Skin dot, is it name? Oh. I wish sometimes the autocomplete worked. I guess it doesn't work because I broke it. Where am I broken? Where did I break? Ah, there it is. That makes a lot of sense. Why are you not auto-completing, sir? Has skin. So Max. Ba-ba-dum bum ba-dum ba-dum bum ba-dum bum ba-dum ba-dum bum. What did I do wrong? Wait, I just added to the wrong place as well. Oh, there's a dot. Whoopsie. Some updated name. Oh yeah, I did not update the name. Am I still testing for that? Yes. Chainmail helm. Yeah, I don't actually see it. Interesting. Let's try. Let's see if it actually doesn't work. Hey, also that doesn't work. So if I go here and I edit, then I select a glove and I hit save, it does show up. Isn't this the prettiest code you've ever seen? It's very explicit, and this too. Not a fan of it, but it's fine. Let's just maybe... Let's... One sec. The show page is gonna change anyways, but it's a bit annoying. Gotta be honest here. Because this list is not really made for like an unordered list with a diff inside, right? It's not really made for that. Let's just let me cook. Let me cook. Give me 1 sec. Let me cook. Just for now, right? Is it with a dash? It's with a dash. What HTML you got, sir? What HTML you got? I want your content. I want your content. I want to see what your HTML is, actually. Why is the content still everything? Section is live. Look, flash, this changed, current scope, look, true, fields, blah, 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 views, likes. We are on the show page. I just want to know the entire HTML, brother. Oops. LiveView test. I think this is the same. Debug LiveView HTML Phoenix. No, I don't want to open browser. Wait, is this a thing? Hold the phone. Open browser. Hold. I always thought this was a thing. I knew this was a thing, but I thought... Can I just do this? I thought it would sort of hook into like playwrights or something. Yeah, this needs to be on unwrap. Because wait, is this that open browser? Holy shit, brother! This is insanity. This is cooking. If this is real, it's imported from both and yeah, that is true. Don't you have to like specify the arity and stuff? Oh yeah, here we go. Oh god, I hate cherry picking this stuff. Problem is that there I still have old tests too, see. Not ideal. Can I skip? Accept? Yep, cock. Ah, man. Bum bum ba dum bum ba dum bum ba dum bum bum bum. Yeah, that's the issue. Okay, but that's fine though. That's fine. Maybe we can just directly reference this thing, right? We can do a little bit of open a browser, and then we do Phoenix LiveView test dot open browser. Huh? Open that browser for me, dog. Oh wait, we're using the wrong. After all that, we still used the wrong thing. Of course. Because it's PhoenixTest. Boom. Ah. See. Man, this is amazing. You can tell me all you want, but this is incredible. Wow. What have I been doing? What have I been doing with my life? I thought that those methods were related to like playwright drivers or something like that. This is insane. It makes a lot of sense too, though. It's just rendering HTML. Like, why not? But that does mean that it's not working. This makes sense. This is before. But these are searches are all passing. That's the interesting part. So here you can see all the skins are set. The thing is not showing up because the select doesn't have the option for it. So it will not show up. That is interesting. What a beautiful look name, by the way. That is very interesting. So all of the weapons and everything are set. All the fields are set. But then when I save, it does say look has updated successfully. But then the weapon skins don't show up. Let me try and reproduce this. Hold up. So if I make a new look, without any weapons, because that's what we're doing, right? We have one without any weapons. And then we go and edit. And then we select one. And then we hit save. So our test is not working. Okay. And we are successful too, because we are getting here. So this is what we get when, what is this debug? The look itself. So the look itself has 2 look skins. And it has 1 helmet. Yeah, so this is what it looks like. And then what do we do? So when we run the test, interesting. The attributes that we're sending do not contain the look skins. Imager getting all messed up. Weapon skins, persistent ID, skin ID, nothing. Okay, interesting. Look form. Helm ID. Very interesting. What does this tell me? Oh my god, I need to stop opening these windows. So the test view. Render change. So that does happen. I'm very intrigued. I've never seen CSS or images working when I use open browser on my project. Now I'm going to have to put my debug mode. Was thinking, was just how it works. Interesting. I mean, my setup is like really vanilla Phoenix, right? This is like when the project started, like a couple weeks later, the latest release 1.8 point something or something was released, and then I just like went through the entire div, like Phoenix div, and I just checked like everything that changed and just like ported it all over, so including Daisy UI and all that shit. So it's as vanilla as the project gets. And I'm sure I'm gonna change it later on, because I'm already getting sick and tired of like writing to some vanilla JS, because I'm really used to like React, right? So like working with LiveView sometimes is a bit of like fighting it, but splitting the two systems is also a pain, because like validation logic here and then maybe validation logic there, or like the server like client sort of relationship is kind of shit. So now I'm just like tinkering some JavaScript on top. So let me see, let me think. So I'm rendering the change and I'm passing it this. So I assume that the validate method would kick in, because that's what I tell on the form here. I tell to, when the Phoenix change happens, to check the validate. So I get the form schema, and then I get the chain set, and then I set the form to the chain set. So there's nothing different here from that. And then on save, I apply the changes. So maybe the translation here goes wrong. On the save. Maybe I'm debugging a bit too much now. Okay, so here we get the change. Handle event 3. Oh, this is the save event. So the save event already does not get the Helm ID, but everything else is set, because that was already set on the look. Very confused how, like, everything was going swimmingly, and then all of a sudden, edit page, unwrap, view, take the form, render the change, and then this is all working. Like, it's asserting that the images are there, and that is correct. The images are there. Then I hit the save button, and then whatever the browser is sending me is nothing. Let me double check this. Because we're here now, and then what I would want to see. I'm not sending Helm ID, so that is interesting. So what is the browser doing? And why is it different for... How is it different for the new page? That's what I'm wondering. Render submit. Render submit. No, it shouldn't have to. Because I'm rendering the change, and then it's rendering the form, and then here I'm clicking the button to save. Which is underwater doing exactly that. No, I think like this page has JavaScript, right? So if I'm changing a value here, it then programmatically sets the value of this select to this value. But when I'm here, the value is empty string because the option that is in there but why is that working on the new page? That is the most confusing thing of all for me. Because the new page has the exact same issue. Like if I disable JavaScript, do I do that again? Disable JavaScript. Like, I'm not gonna be able to select anything. And so, if what I'm doing is I'm programmatically telling LiveView, like, hey, you have a skin now, here you go. And then it's updating and it's like, oh, let me show you the helmet for this, because it re-renders. And then it leaves the select alone because I told it to ignore it because the JavaScript is taking care of it. But why is the... But what I don't understand is why is the new page working? Wait, let me check there. Oh, it isn't working. It isn't working. That makes sense. It isn't working. So, just some interesting insights to anyone that will ever run into this. If you set a value, like if I am let's take Tailwind CSS Playground or something. That's probably the fastest way. If I have a form and I have a select, well, let's just make this like method get. And I give this a name like Bob. This is my Bob field. And let's make a submit button. Let's give this like a width of full and border. Beautiful. And I give this an HTML value, right? I get this an HTML value. Oh, let's say change the color as well. Wait, why is the placeholder not showing? All right. Okay, so let's say I have this value, right? This is what I'm rendering in HTML. If I give this a wait, let's tidy this up. So if I give this a value of 5, and the option that of the value is not in the list, I'm pretty sure if I submit this, Oh. Right. Okay. Okay. What's an easier way to do this? Fine. Fine. Wait, normally you can do like this, and then it would render the whole thing. Anyways, doesn't matter. Let's take this code, dunk it in here. And open the HTML. I was giving you guys a little something special, a little browser 1.0 here, but all right, so we have this form, right? And if I press submit, isn't it supposed to just add it to the browser, to the query params? I thought that's how it worked. Oh, it's because I'm doing slash. Wait, I think if I do this, it's fine. Yeah. You can see, even though I'm setting a value of 5, because the option is not in the list, if the option isn't in the list, then it will not... the option isn't in the list, it will not send the information. Just FYI. So... So yeah, that's always interesting. But because we are doing some JavaScript tinkering to like hide this thing, the JavaScript can actually set the value of it. So even though there's a value here, the value of the select is empty string. But if I set the value to 5 and then I submit... Oh, wait a minute. Hold the phone. So the value is now this. Let me just double check. So if I'm pretty sure if I set the value... Oh. What is it doing under the hood then? If I enable JavaScript. Maybe my JavaScript was still disabled, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't. Because if I'm in the if I'm doing this in here, okay. Okay. I thought that's how it worked, but maybe I am also wrong. But I thought if I set this programmatically and then I submit... Oh well. Anyhow, weird that it also just removed this completely, but that's besides the point. So let's take a little look at what the page does. But why does it work on the... No, it doesn't work on a new page. Never mind. No, we myth busted that. So it created an input field, and the input field is not the same ID. And then when I change it, how does it actually set the value to the select? Right? And it does that by secretly injecting an option with that value. See? So I set the value, but in order to set the value, it needs to have an option in there that has the value. So we can do the same. But if we have a skin, and the problem is that we're doing Phoenix update ignore, but then we might be able to do this. I don't know if this is gonna work. I just need to know which methods we have. Phoenix update stream. Why am I only seeing stream? I want the default. Replace. It's a default. We don't know the skin name. Oh, but the ID is not set. Oh, but we can set it on here, actually. So the select is allowed to update. Oh, it's not, though. Well, let's find out. Because this is a bit nasty, right? This is a bit nasty because how many select things do we have in here now? Okay, so it's still working, but now let's take a look at our HTML, right? This is a little bit of ancient history of beautiful browser behavior. Which in a way is good. It allows you to not send arbitrary values. Still does not work though. I think because there's a Phoenix ignore, it will ignore everything down the stream, right? So for those of you that are unaware of how, like, why we're doing this, I have this wrapper around my select because the JavaScript library that I use to render the little like silly like search thing is gonna take over on the select, right? It's gonna hide the initial select. It's gonna render an input field. You can type in the input field. It will show the dropdown, fully accessible, like keyboard and everything works. And then when you hit this enter button or you select an option, it will then inject a record into the select. But if I didn't have Phoenix update ignore, Phoenix would see a change to the form. It would see, oh, the value for this input has changed. I will update my form. So it will receive an update event. It will go through and re-render, and then it will see the select, and it will be like, okay, yeet, dunk the entire new select in there with the new content, which is nice. But the whole library of like doing the select and everything is not working anymore. So what we do is we, on the wrapping element, because it's adding stuff here, right? It's adding the input here, for example. So what we do is we just say, okay, ignore all that. Ignore it. So when you receive an update, ignore everything that's inside here. Another way to do it would be to sort of portal out the select behavior into a different div and then ignore that one, so that the select drop the box can be updated. Because I don't think I'm allowed to put an ID on an option field. Let's be honest here. So I don't think this is working. I think as soon as it sees Phoenix update ignore, it will not traverse the tray, which makes a lot of sense. What happens if I have two input fields? So if I add a hidden input field with the value of the skin. Nah, that wouldn't be ideal. Because then I think the last one wins, but that's kind of ugly. Would a render key down work here? I mean, is it an issue? Is it an issue because you're injecting a value instead of pressing the keys? Yeah, the issue is that the JavaScript isn't loaded, right? So I cannot, there's no input field to type into, because that's all happening after JavaScript loads. So Phoenix LiveView is just HTML, right? So I'm rendering an HTML page. All it's seeing is an empty select. And if it has a value, I'm rendering the value, because otherwise I'm running into the issue, right? Where the existing value is not shown. And then the select thing will just see like, oh, value is nothing. So I'm rendering a value, I'm setting an option in here, and I'm not even rendering the text of it, because the JavaScript will take care of it, and it would look weird if I did. So if I have a value, it will show in the option dropdown, and then it would send it. This is really only a testing issue. This is really only a testing issue. The issue is, however, let me just double check this. Merges all attributes and does not patch the children. You cannot nest Phoenix inside an ignored, because we ignored it, will never be touched. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And this is really only a testing issue, so the combo box is mounted, it's rendered with an empty option, or no option at all. You then tell it to re-render, it re-renders. The field value for the change set is this, right? The change set has the value. And then we can find the corresponding skin, we render the skin, we show it in the input, like next to it. We theoretically set the value, but this never gets rendered, right? So this doesn't get re-rendered. What we can also try and do is not Phoenix update ignore and then fix it in the select, which would mean before updates. Which would be like theoretically like re-initializing it. But I need to know about the life cycle methods. This element is about to be updated. Any call here must be synchronous as an update cannot be deferred. Updated. The element has been updated by the server. So update that would be just doing exactly this again. See how just breaks because Tom select is already initialized. The value is set now, though. Why is this value not set? Also, what's interesting is that value is there. Why is this value? If value. Initialize Tom select. Tom select sees that there's a value. It also has the options. Let me just double check. All of them are updated, by the way, which is kind of iffy. All of them are reinitialized. All of them are updated. Okay, what if we sync? Oh, all of the other ones are broken though. Why is the other ones broken? Because it has a value? Value is empty. Oh, it also didn't, it stopped initializing, you see? It actually just died. It is funny though, because the text is there. Which is, I think, just the... Yeah, so the option field, the option is there, but the whole Tom select initialize part is gone because we nuked the state. I'm just gonna try one more thing, and otherwise I give up. Which is gonna just make it very hard to test, sadly. But I think there is a way to detach. This library is like, it's kind of wild, but it was like the most minimal library that does exactly what I need. And it's not even that minimal. That's why I might just pull in like full-on Svelte or something and just like make it myself. Because this feels like very old school, you know? Like this shit that I'm touching here, but I think there is a way to render it on a different thing. So control input supplies the custom input elements. Dropdown parent. The element menu is appended to. If null, the dropdown is appended as a child of the control. Element to the dropdown menu is appended to. So if I do, let's just try this for one moment. So if I do drop down. Phoenix update, ignore. And then I take the control imp, no, the drop down parent. To be the items ID dash drop down, because that's what we do here. Let's see if it can still render correctly. Oh, it does not initialize at all. Wait, why does it not initialize at all? Oh, it does. Wait. The dropdown just doesn't show up. TS dropdown. Oh, it's down here. So it is there. So let me cook this real quick. So if I make this relative, that is working. And then it re-renders and it nukes the select state. And then if I sync, I think I should be fine. So if I update it, oh, all the other ones died. Why is that? What is the value here? Nil. So if it's nil, why is it rendering? If value. That's weird, right? Am I crazy? What if I don't render at all? Then and all of these are broken because it will try and set the value, but then It doesn't work. But does it still render the empty thing? No. I'm also confused why this is rendered. I thought LiveView just ignored it when the value is nil. Conditionally set attribute. But I mean the if false, it will not show my attribute on the element. I think for value that's different, I guess. But for value that doesn't really matter, but this one is weird to me. I don't know the syntax anymore. Very strange. But this might just be the work of React, or not React, but the select thing. Like this, I only want to set this on initial render. Because otherwise the selecting doesn't work. Oh well. Let's just roll back everything. We know it's working. We just can't really test it properly. It's a bit tragic. We can show that the preview is working. I kind of just want to submit the form. Oh, you can add... You can is this extra data? Because then I think render submit is the play, sadly. We can still render change, but then we just have to submit using unwrap as well. Is this the... It's not the show one. Let's do the show one. Yeah, that is not ideal, but... Yeah, this isn't ideal, but let's just try it out. So unwrap... view... This is like really testing implementation details now. But it is what it is. Let's just see if this really gets to where we need to go. Interesting. Render, submit. Elements, value. Oh, we need to submit an element. Right. Right, okay, that works. Yeah, so that is a bit unfortunate, but that's okay. We can abstract this maybe. Let's just do it by behavior, right? So what we're really doing is select skin, session, skin, do, and then we do session, unwrap, view. Maybe it's nicer to not sort of nest, and we just do this. And then this is sort of we're like pretending that this is an action that was part of the API, right? So we select the skin, we pass it the skin, and then the skin knows its type. We can just say the field, maybe. Makes it a bit easier. And then what we do is... Can we do this? I don't know if this is the thing. If this is the syntax. No, wait, we can just do... this? I think. And that's okay, we're gonna be re-rendering a lot. But I think this is more like, sort of like, what we're actually doing, right? We're selecting the skin. So like, we're going to the edit page, we select the skin, skins, helm. And then in here we do skin.id. And then helm. I think it was already auto-completing. I don't know why I didn't just let it happen. There you go. Okay. We select, we assert. We can just maybe combine them together. We change, and then we submit. Save skins. This is not great, but I think it's our best bet here. And I think what I will do is I will not do this manually. So I think I will do element look form render submit, and then data is skins. Yo, welcome back, Wolfie. Enum.reduce. And then for each skin, skins is a map. So we're not enum reducing, we're getting key value. So this is key. Strengths and Battlefield 6 today, but today it went back to unplayable. Interesting. Can you monitor your performance? Like what is actually being throttled? Okay, we're making a thing that we're sending. So we need to send fields with the value. So the value is going to be skin ID, and then the field is going to be a bit annoying. Because it's like helm ID for armor. And then for weapon skins, it's something else. We can just do exactly as this, I suppose. Why complicate it? Boom. This is like Giga ugly, but in a way, it's exactly describing what we're doing, right? The behavior is we're selecting a skin from the select, which is what you would normally do if you're like interacting with the page, right? It's like select race, option this. So it's a bit verbose, but it is exactly what it's saying it should be. So that is okay. We could also say we're going to be trying to find the select by its label, but I think this is okay. And if we then hit save, we just don't open this browser. We do open this. I think we're still okay. Save skins. Yeah, we need to pass the skins in here. $271. Oh, this one it doesn't work because the way that's. How did we do the weapon earlier here? Weapon skins, yeah. We need one specific for weapon. That makes sense, actually. Does toString work? String to string. Maybe. We'll find out. I think it's not integer to string Elixir. Do string. That would make more sense, right? Integer to string. And then we have the same methods. Actually, let's do toString. When it's integer, we just take it as is. Nice. Chainmail helm. Yeah, this makes sense. Okay, let's just for the show add like a little ID or something to this. Title helm. Almost there, almost there, almost there. So we're not testing for this. We're testing for... Dun, 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 dun. Man, I love this feature, man. Oh yeah, we don't have armor skins anymore. We removed that section. Nice. Alright, let's add a comment explaining why we need to do this. Private methods I don't think can use doc blocks, but we're saving using the save skins methods because the browser does not send the value of empty select elements, and LiveView cannot re-render our select elements because JS would normally take over. Okay. Select the skin, select the skin, select the skin, select the skin, assert that the skin icon is there, then you save Click button. Maybe we do click button. No. Submit form with skins. Maybe that's better. Okay, that explains hopefully enough. Let's remove the tag. Run the entire test. Huge. Nice, we have tests now. It's still testing a bit of implementation details, but I mean that is just what it is. We could also see if we could run some tests on the JS end to see if we can make this work, but maybe it's better to have some end-to-end tests to cover this case. But for now, this is great. Add tests for updating look. When AFK got back, all I see is big titties. Someone AFK behind my character missed, like, nice. It said CPU FPS in game. I mean, Wolfie, I would say just open the task manager on a second screen and see kind of like what it does. For adding skins to a look. This is big. Now we got it all covered. I mean, I worked 3 hours on just writing tests, but you know, you don't run into these issues every day. You know, we were quite far with the tests, only to realize that I think we should be fine. Let's see if they pass on CI, and then we're good to go. I'm still not a big fan of like the way the combo box is designed, because I assumed that there would be more combo box templates, but I think the templates are not really gonna change much. It's mostly just gonna be as we have it. You know, it's gonna be like it's gonna be like an image, a tiny image, and the text. You know, it's not gonna be much extra, but if we in the future want to add more stuff, then we will. I'm not entirely sure what we're gonna do with the dyes though. Like selecting a dye, I think you need to click on the thing and then it opens a pop-up maybe with the colors, like a tiny thing here that allows you to search and select. I'm not entirely sure. Almost like a color picker, I think. I think we're also still having some mobile issues, but that's okay. We'll figure. We'll shave that when we get there. All right. We're good. Tests have been passed. How long was CI? Wow. Caching is working. Huge. Let's do one final review. Color picker like the one in the game? Yeah. The color picker from the game is on the side. You have the side panel open the entire time. Alright, we add the dye CSS, which we don't use yet. The Tom select. We're doing some crazy shit though with template elements. Like both template elements as well as like script tags. Because according to the spec, you're allowed to render script tags. I'm just thinking actually, by doing raw here, am I like, this data is all trusted because it's coming from us, but what if in the future I add user data to this list? Because if another user adds like a script tag, then it's kind of fucked. But otherwise the JSON encode is gonna be fucked. Can I do JS? Raw JS Phoenix. Yo, Oni Stack, by the way, sorry, I completely missed your message. I don't know if you're still here. What's your opinion using users of AI encoding? Use it where it makes sense, honestly. Don't go vibe coding everything, but stuff that you don't know, you can always just try and ask it. I tried running my AI locally, but it's really slow. I only have one GPU, and it's like the context window is really small. Even with a 4070 Ti, it's like pretty much undoable. So that basically shows how much power is needed for these fucking AI models to thrive. And it's having massive impact on the environment. So I'm trying to use it as little as possible. But yeah, some stuff it just really helps. Yeah, I think this also needs some work here, but it's okay. We'll get there. Maybe this can eventually end up in core components. This makes sense. Data, render the data once, add the data key. Render the skin, render the dyes. This is mostly for the tests, which makes sense. And here are the tests. And then this is, yeah. Sure, looks good to me. Could it be better? Yes. Do we have time for it to make it better? Not really. Okay. We need to show the skins on the actual page, but I need to think about the design for it. I also need to make the photo selector work. And we need the dyes. But I think the next step would be to work on the actual user-facing stuff, because the majority of the things are now in to be able to make your looks. We just now need to show them, so I can fill a database and get this out in beta. And then we need to work on, if the functionality is in, then we need to work on the UI, because it's fugly, you know? It's not bad, but it's definitely not great. Definitely not great. So, yeah, I think that's that comes after. But yeah, good progress. I mean, very slow, to be honest. I thought we would like get the test done in like an hour, but then we were running into some issues. We learned a lot though. We learned about open browser. That shit is amazing. Open browser is amazing. I thought it was like a Playwright thing, like a driver with Playwright that would just like run things in the browser, but no, it's just open the current HTML of Phoenix LiveView and then render it. It's kind of wild. It's insanity. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, by the way, Brainless Society, I don't know if you're still here, but I actually know why your UI isn't loading. I think in Phoenix, the latest Phoenix version, they changed the way layouts are rendered, and they're now just a component. So every single one of my LiveView pages is just rendering the layout, which then includes, I think... Oh no, it actually does not include full HTML, including CSS. I don't know. Never mind, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Phoenix HTML, verify routes. Yeah, I don't know. Cool. So yeah, let's write something down. So release checklist. I mean, I could also make a milestone thing, but it's fine. So we need dies, manage dies, because then we have a full thing, right? We have everything. Show skins. So this is for the manage page. Manage. And then we have public looks. Show the skins plus dies. Show dies. Add image carousel. Design. Update the overall look and feel. I think I can go without search. It's not perfect, but if we can first just paginate. Add pagination. Homepage. Create homepage design. Infrastructure. Set up mail service. Set up infra as code. Deploy via CI. Oh, we need a couple more things actually. We need, oh man. We need, for auth, we need to add a username or display name. So we need to show the display name of a user. Do we need a profile already? Maybe not. What a weird flow. Re-authenticating with a, like, no password is so weird. Yeah, that is weird. Are you gonna use the generator? I'm thinking of using the generator, yeah. Yeah, the generator is weird with the... Because it's like re-authenticating when you get to this point. Oh, you can set a password after you authenticate with the... Interesting. It makes sense though, because security-wise it's... You need to re-authenticate, but... If you only log in via email, it's very weird. UberAuth is very easy to integrate with the generated code. Okay, I'll think about it. I was thinking of just starting out with what I had and just only offering like login via email. I was thinking of register via email, verify, fill in your profile, and then start a look. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not entirely sure. So we need maybe Uber auth social login. We need, basically when you click on a look, you need to see whose thing it is, and then we probably need to show looks of the person. Do we need that for release? For release, we need to strip out liking, viewing, all that stuff. I was thinking if I'm gonna show popular looks by month, then I need to track page views per month. But if we don't do that at the start, is that an issue? If I don't track page views from the start, adding them later is fucked. So that is a bit of my concern, right? You cannot deduce how many page views a page had. Unless I use plausible, like, and then ask via their API how many page views a certain page has had. I don't know, I've never done that, never thought about it. So strip away the view count. Strip away the likes. Strip away the bookmarks. That's features we can definitely do later. It shouldn't take long. On the manage page, improve the UI. Like this needs design like crazy. Add pagination. Looks overview. Improve the UI for selecting common things. So what I mean by that is like if you go and manage your look, right? You go here. Race is only 5 options. It's in a drop-down. Gender is only 2 options. It's in a drop-down. Weight class is only 3 options. It's in a drop-down. So like we can easily make these like sort of like just buttons you press, like one of those like multi thingies, like checkbox using buttons. And then we can probably move the keep the description as is, move this stuff to the side, and then have this only take out part of the screen. That's what I'm thinking. It's probably good to have a limit on the images as well. So just always say you have 5 images. So max image count to 5 for now. And then for the release, we probably want to data. We want to import, scrape the old GW2Style website for looks, backfill the data, or import the data. Update the latest skins list database file. Is that it? Search and filtering would be nice. Search by name, search by skin, search by weight, search by race, search by gender. Filter. I don't think this is for release though. But that is just me. I think if we have a flat list as a start, I don't think the filtering would be very hard to implement with the way our database is designed, but it doesn't need it for release, I think. I don't think likes and bookmarks is hard either. But it is just an extra page. You know, like you need to go to your own, you need to be able to watch your own likes, for example, and stuff like that. And like, it's just extra work, you know? I think the die part is gonna be hard. I think this is a big one. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna ask. I have a designer friend that might be able to help me out, because I think he really enjoys. I mean, he's not a Guild Wars player, but he enjoys like making shit for gaming stuff, gaming projects, because it's just something else, right? If you make apps for businesses, it's kind of boring, but for like gaming stuff, it's always a bit more interesting. I'm really curious how this is going to perform, but I also right now the plan is, for those of you that are completely unaware, the plan is to self-host the app on a Raspberry Pi that is at my house. To see how it performs, how it can hold up. If needed, I can always host it somewhere else. So we need database backups. And for now, that's just SQLite. I have a Raspberry Pi that has an SSD attached to it, so it's not running on an SD card at least. So at least I know it's a bit more performant, but also it's a bit more reliable. But I think we need to have database backups. That's for sure. We're not storing images yet, so we're just hosting everything on Imager. And then I need to see if we can get some users in here, because I think the issue that people are going to run into is they want to add a look, and then they're going to be like, okay, enter the Imager URL, and then they go to their Imager URL, and then they have this, and then it's like, okay, How the fuck do I add this? And it's like, oh, copy link, sick, copy link. And then I dunk it in here, and then it doesn't work. Because all I'm checking is the domain an imager link, and it is an imager link. So yeah, I think that's a big issue. Because the people need to specifically like copy the image, the actual image, and then it works, right? But that's kind of an annoying thing. So I need to figure out if I can make this easier. Because it's not super straightforward. Like the best thing would be that you could just dunk in the album and then let me query Imager and see what the images are and then pull them out. But first of all, that's work. I think second of all, I would much rather make it even easier. The reason I went with Imager is because I don't want to self-host the images, but I think in the end it is going to be a lot easier, and storage is kind of cheap these days. So yeah, we'll see. Lots to think about, but let's just get it out there. I think this is all we need. We need, for release, actually, we need, for auth, we need a waitlist system. So I think auth can even be written off completely because I can just invite people. I can just create a user with an email address and then send them the thing and then let them log in with it. And then we can ban them if they abuse it. Lots to do still. You think like at some point a project is done, but lots to do here, you know? Definitely lots to do. We really need a design. We really need a design. In a way, it's gonna make or break. I don't think it's the most ugly thing, but it's also definitely not the best thing. Oh, wait, one big thing, actually. We need drafts. Shit. Completely forgot about that. Draft looks. I think that is actually a massive thing. Because you should be able to work on a draft. Like, you should be able to work on a look, and then not have it show up half finished, right? With no images. Like, you should be able to work on it continuously, like add stuff, like not really validating anything, and then when you hit this like publish button is when it goes on and like shows up for everybody. And then we can double check if everything is there. Maybe we can even check, like, are the images actually there? Like, am I getting a 200 and is it an image type and all that stuff? Just so that we don't have broken images on this site. Just something to think about. Sup, Crispy? First time being here, what is your background? Do you have any CS degree? I do not have a CS degree. I have a bachelor's degree in communication and multimedia design. Which involved quite a bit of coding. But I do not have a CS degree. But I was actually thinking about it. Maybe it would be fun to study, you know? To go back and just, like, actually get a CS degree. Or do a course or something like that. Because, like, the more I code, the more I realize, like, I want to kind of level up my skills. I think in the dev world there's a lot of like basically, if you reach a certain point in your dev degree or in your dev career, you'll reach a point where you think you're good. You think you're pretty good. You know, you've run through all the beginner issues, and you get to a point where it's like, oh, yeah, I know. You know, like I've stubbed my toe against this rock before. You know, like I know how to avoid it. And then you learn about the design patterns, and then you become like the I guess the meteor developer that starts to understand design patterns and all that stuff. And then there is the break off. This is like where a lot of people will stop. They will, and I call them meteor, but I guess they're more senior. There's a point where the seniors will stop and they think they know it all, and that's where there's two roads. There's one road where the person remains in his ego and his fantasy world where he thinks he knows it all, and like, you know, like not knows it all, but like to a point where like, yeah, there's not a lot of learning left to do. And it's like I can do everything that I want to do, sort of. And yeah, I'm applying all these patterns, and I feel like very, very much like I'm in my happy space. But then I think that's where I am. You know, I think I know what can massively go wrong. I've seen it happen. You know, like you stub your toes and stuff. But I'm also at the pain points of applying the patterns. And like realizing that doing things according to the book is sometimes also crazy wrong. Because there's a lot of these rules that are actually not as important as people say they are. And then there is also the point of like actually doing some crazy smart work. You know, like, and then by saying crazy smart work, it's actually not that crazy, but it's just actual computer science stuff. Like implementing a web server from scratch, sort of stuff. And you're like, I wouldn't know how to do that. I saw a video, a very testing video on QR codes. It's an amazing video. It just let me see. I think I'm not logged in. Yeah. Veritasium QR code. It's an amazing video. It basically just explains how it works, and then I was like, let me just code that from scratch. You know, like let me like have a test case, an input and an output is the QR code in like ASCII characters in the terminal, and I was breaking my brain. on it. And I think the same thing happens for like the advent of code stuff is also kind of like that. It's like these puzzles that make or break you as a developer. Like everybody can just slap a form together on a web page and just do some CRUD work and stuff. But like, I think only now I realize that like my next way to level up as a developer is to go there. You know, like I know some of the, like a bunch of the theory, and I know a bunch of the like design patterns, and I know like I'm there, and maybe some of us will stop here and be like, yeah, no, like I can get around, but for me it's like, man, there's so much more that I should be able to do, you know. So I don't have a CS degree, but I kind of feel like I'm missing out on the information that the people with CS degrees have. You know, like I think building a web server from scratch should be like peanuts for somebody with a CS degree. Like implementing the spec, right? Which is just like take a few bytes here, and so that you know like like a request coming in, and it's like to take the few bytes here to get this and to get that. It's like, yeah, I think there is an interesting path forward. I just need to think about how I'm gonna get there. And I think projects like these are pretty fun, but I think doing stuff like Advent of Code, or just maybe doing some courses, or working on some more lower level stuff, like I would say like the QR code one is like an interesting one, right? It's like, it's not super low level, but it's like, it really gets you to think about, like, you have a spec, you want to implement it, and it's not just your CRUD form with your database queries and your users and your authentication, you know? I lived too long in the web world. Well, programming is a lot more than that, I think. Game development, same thing. I think a lot of like web developers can learn a lot from game dev, because there's a lot more intricacies there, and there's some design patterns that are very useful for that kind of stuff. So yeah. Bit of a long answer to your question, but it is something that is very much on my mind, because web isn't everything. And I think a good programmer knows that and should learn more about the other stuff that's out there. But yeah, that's it. I think we got our Guild Wars 2 Elixir stuff done. We have the list. We can just continue working on this. So yeah, see you guys in the next one.